Hello everyone and welcome to Lush and Salty Aquariums. My name is Stefan. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. I am sitting in front of the massive, at least for me, massive 135-gallon freshwater display tank in my dining room. I'm sitting at the dining room table and I have a lot on my mind. And some of it's very sad and melancholy, and I'm trying to gain some perspective and appreciation for the beauty of life all around us in the midst of its fleeting nature. And I'll get to the point. As you can see or saw from the title card of this video, you see my lovely family, and those are my 3 daughters, and so full of life and vigor, the whole world in front of them. That was taken a few years ago, and they are holding our 2 dogs. Now you've seen the one on the right, Elmo, little Morkie, little terrier, mixture of a Maltese and a Yorkshire, little terror. You've seen him sitting next to me when I make some of these videos. Sometimes I point him out. His name is Elmo, or just Mo. But the other dog, who I haven't talked about or shown pictures of anyway on this channel ever. I mean, it's a fish channel, but on a bigger sense, it's about pets, and in an even bigger sense, it's about family and the life in all its forms that we surround ourselves with. So, and I'm going to move this camera just a little bit. I don't want to disturb Beauregard. That's the other dog. He's sitting here. I know it looks like an awkward position, but he's resting on his little bed, and I don't want to disturb him. Bo is almost 19 years old, and he's not doing very well at all, and hasn't been for some time. And regretfully, with a heavy heart, we are going to relieve him from this mortal coil. I don't ever know what the right word is. I guess back in the day, putting him down or putting him to sleep would be how that process would be described. Depending on your mood or your philosophy or even your religion, maybe you have a different take on it. But Bo has been struggling so much lately in so many ways. I won't get into it, but it was probably time a month or 2 ago, honestly. But we just didn't have the heart or the, I don't know, consensus within the family. You saw my 3 daughters. Gosh, they love that West Highland Terrier. And why wouldn't they? It's a beautiful dog, still is a beautiful dog, and grew up with them. They're young women, but they're very young women, and Bo is nearly 19, so in some cases that's over 90% of the life of any one of those girls you point out has been shared with that Westie, with Bo. And it's painful. It's going to end, right? That chapter. It's painful for all of us, and there's already been a great deal of tears. Last month it was denial, and yet, you know, you only have to try and walk the dog one time to know that it's over. And since I do the lion's share of the walking of the dogs here, I knew it kind of implicitly before anyone else, and I delicately tried to share that fact with my wife And then when she finally realized that I was right, that it wasn't about being a good guy or a bad guy or any of that, just doing the right thing. Bo no longer had dignity in life. Going to the bathroom was a humiliating problem for him, and he can't see, and he walks into walls. He wanders around aimlessly, but he has a really bad leg, so it's more of a stumble, shuffle, and then he gets stuck under chairs. I could go on. So by the time you're seeing this video, for some of you, that will have happened. And Elmo will be the only dog in this family, at least for the time being. So the fish, I was, to try to tie this into a more, relevant video for us here in the fish tube, in the fish keeping community. There's always this polite, often joking debate on whether fish can be considered pets or not. And I've certainly had ample time to think about that. I do know that they bring me joy and happiness, especially during this difficult time with my dog Beauregard and the inevitable end for my dog Beauregard. So looking at an aquarium like this or any of the others in my fish room, and I'm sure it's the same for you, there's a sense of joy and life, and it's an easy sense, right? I'm not saying building these fish tanks and these ecosystems is easy, but watching the multitude of different fish move about, go about their business, sometimes spawn, and yes, sometimes die, is all a part of it. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I think fish are pets in the same way a dog or a cat can be a pet. They're not. There's something more easier about when a fish passes versus when a pet passes. Part of that's due to the sheer vastness of fish in our aquarium, especially if you have multiple aquariums. When one fish dies and you don't know why, it's not the same kind of sadness. And when you euthanize a fish because it's past being fixed, when you cull a fish for one reason or another, we all know that for a lot of people, culling means an ending, not some other event. And no judgment, it is what it is, but it gives us pause. It gives me pause when I think about whether fish are pets, just like our dogs, just like my Elmo and Beauregard. Some people consider their cats and dogs family, and I know that my daughters think of Beauregard that way, like a brother. They have their sisters, but they all think in some sense that the dog was always like a little brother. But being real, it's not the same thing. Namely, we don't put people down when they're when they're really, really doing poorly. We try everything, anything and everything. And I don't know if that's a great idea, but that's the way most cultures operate. So one difference I thought of when it comes to a mortally ill fish, or when you wake up and you discover one or more fish dead, immediately we point the finger at ourselves and we feel more upset versus sad. That's a good way for me to differentiate between the two concepts of death versus fish versus pets. When I see dead fish, I think, what did I do wrong? What's wrong with this aquarium I built? What happened to the fish? What part did I play in it? What did I do or not do? I become upset, sometimes at myself, sometimes at the situation, but I don't cry or wax poetic the way I have been and am doing right now and will do when Bo is taking leave of planet Earth and this family. So that's a difference, a kind of upsettedness with ourselves. In a way, we're like a surrogate deity to these fish. I mean, Mother Nature dictates the big plan, but in a glass box, we are their caretakers. We can make or break these creatures. Obviously, nobody wants to break them. Nobody, well, 99.9% of people on Earth don't have malicious ideas when it comes to any of their pets, from a goldfish to a robust community aquarium like this. And I don't. I have always adored nature and felt more a kinship with the animals, and in particular the fish, than I do sometimes, with other people. I know a lot of you, whether you admit it or not, might feel the same way. It just comes with the territory for me. Growing up, I struggled to find my way or my place in a peer group, made a lot of bad decisions with the friends I kept, got hurt, blah, blah, blah. But I learned to do two things: to look inward to my imagination. I became a creative person, create worlds and ideas through my writing and art, and ultimately fish keeping, that I could feel more in control and more at peace with than just trying to hang out with a bunch of people that freaked me out. And to this day, I'm happy to spend a Saturday night in my fish room versus going to a dinner party. But that's me. You might very well be wired a different way, but maybe you can relate to some of the things I'm talking about as we look at these two gouramis squaring off there. I know I'm not talking about any of these fish in a specific way, because I'm, in a sense, committing this video as a eulogy for a beloved 19-year-old dog, and deeply, deeply sad about what is going to happen to him, what we must do. When I have a fish that is struggling, badly, I will do the same thing to it, but I won't think anything about it the way I do with my beloved pet Beauregard. I do believe fish are sentient beings in that they can feel pain. I don't know how to describe many other feelings they might have or not have, but I don't think they're ignorant or unable to process a kind of happiness or peace, a kind of joie de vie, a joy of life. I believe they might know when their time is up. I believe that that stuff is just true. You know, I'd like to think it is anyway. I was reflecting on certain concepts. You know, I just built an iwagumi tank, which is, you know, Japanese for, I think, hard rock and water or something like that, hardscape. The previous video is all about that. But so many Japanese philosophies talk about some of the things I've touched on already. The ephemeral or fleeting sense of beauty in life. And you know, a cherry blossom is a great symbol of so many of these philosophies in the Japanese culture. Because of its fleeting beauty, it's become a strong symbol representing multiple philosophies within the Zen and Buddhist ideologies or philosophies. But in a nutshell, people would gather to watch the cherry blossoms knowing they would only be there a day or two. In one strong wind, they're gone. And that's that. And so back hundreds of years ago, different Japanese eras, people were taught to reflect on the fleeting beauty of life and to live in the moment, from gazing upon and reflecting upon the amazing cherry blossom. And I like that sort of thinking when it comes to the impermanence of life, death. There's another tangent to that where they say that, you know, the leaves on the trees are more beautiful when they're dying than when they're alive, and that we should appreciate a beauty in decay and in death. And I don't want to get too heavy. I mean, Lord knows this has been heavier than any video I've ever made by far, and I don't know if I've lost you or what you're doing or what you think of me. But I wanted to capture some of these thoughts and put them into perspective because of what I have to do to this beloved member of our household, a pet. Different from all of these pets. I've never really looked at fish as pets. In a sense, I think they're beautiful nature, and I take peace and joy at giving them their best possible life, creating ecosystems for them. But I won't and don't cry when I lose one the way I will for my dog, Beauregard. You know, take that for what it's worth. Maybe that's why fish keeping is one of the reasons why it's so appealing. Because, yeah, on one general superficial level, they're pets, and they keep us company in a very, I think, superficial way. I look at them more as living ornaments, things under my care, and I take pride when they are doing very, very well. And that's enough, right? I don't know that that is what a pet is. I've walked Bo in 20 below zero weather here in Chicago. I don't know how many times, or in sleety rain. You know, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go and take those measures for a fish. I wouldn't take a sick fish to a vet, not just because it's, you know, cost ineffective, but I just find that kind of ridiculous. Right? You can get another fish. There are certain measures we take, and there are certain measures we don't take. And we did everything we could for Bo. I won't go that far for any given fish. And I don't think any of you would either, and I don't think that's bad. I don't think that means we're bad people or bad caretakers. We just appreciate aquarium fish, tropical fish, all the life, whatever kind of fish you keep, guppies, goldfish, or rainbow fish like these Bosemani and Millennium rainbows here in the camera, or the iconic figure of the angelfish. Now true, the more elaborate, rare, or costly a fish is, the more emotion we will have if it gets sick and dies or something along those lines. But again, I know I would point the finger at myself. And perhaps if I just bought it, I would consider pointing the finger at who sold it to me. But by and large, it's an upset different from sadness or melancholy. Anyway, folks, thank you for allowing me to get this out and have a place to put it. If you have any thoughts, or want to differ or contribute, I know this is a heavy topic in a way, but it doesn't have to be. If we look at the beautiful death concept from the Japanese, however how the fleeting nature of life allows us to appreciate it even more. If we try to look at what I'm talking about through those filters, maybe we're better for it. I think I am. All right, folks, as always, keep your hands in the tank, albeit carefully, and ciao for now.